Hi, I'm Aaron,
Hi, I'm Christy.
and today we'll be talking about the conventional social realist short films.
The main environments seen in social realist short films are rundown areas such as parks, alleyways, and often set in school. These three settings are all conventional and frequently shown to present the lives of lower class teenagers. Kidulthood and Fish Tank are key examples where protagonists are seen in parks, alleyways, and school settings. A student, Christy Field from Cranford Community College, has created a mood board with various pictures demonstrating the conventions used in social realism. She has included images of settings I have previously discussed and showed synopsis such as drugs, alcohol, teen, pregnancy, and bullying. Costumes such as hoodies, hoops, tracksuits, casual clothing, which signify they're from a lower class. Looking into more depth of social realist films, it's highly important to understand the mise-en-scène, camera work, editing, sound used in these short films.
In social realist films, editing depends on the action displayed in the scene. As a rule of thumb, fast-paced action equates to shorter shot lengths and choppier settings to emphasize the reason for the fast-paced action. In these sequences, transitions are more likely to be used and music tends to be played at a larger role. An example of a fast-paced sequence is the opening sequence of Transporting, in which the characters Renton and Spud are running away. Shot lengths become shorter, and whilst music does not really intensify the situation to any great extent, the speech made by Renton more than makes up for this. An example of a slower-paced opening is This Is England, where the audience is forced to focus on the characterization of Shaw. Therefore, the opening is made up of many longer-lasting shots.
Now looking at camera work. As you can see in this image, it's a low point of view shot with the purpose of highlighting the violent and angry three boys kicking the person on the floor. This particular shot signifies the boy on the floor fear as he is looking up at them. This type of shot is used frequently to create the same emotions. In this second image, you can see a close-up of the protagonist holding drugs. The purpose of close-ups is to focus the audience's attention on the particular object or facial expression. In this case, it's focusing on the drugs in his hands, signifying the poor decisions made by teenagers from the lower class. This shot is a long shot which is used to show the audience the whole environment the protagonist is in. In this shot, you are able to see that the protagonist is in a big room, which makes her look small and vulnerable in comparison with the rest of the world.
Sound is a very general area regarding social realism, but there are two types of music which are favoured in social realism heavily. Music from their area or subculture. For example, This Is England features songs such as Come On Eileen and Tainted Love. These songs are very much associated with the 1980s, and in particular the music that was popular in Britain at the time. Songs from eras allow the audience to make themselves aware of social problems at the time, as well as making scenes more realistic. Music from areas works very much the same as well. By using music from the area in question, the audience becomes aware of social problems surrounding that area. This too also adds to the overall realism of the film. Example of music from a subculture is the music in Kidulthood. Music in this film features grime, rap, and hip-hop. From a subculture has an added effect. Using music from a subculture has an added effect in that it allows the audience to become aware of the lifestyle led by characters, as well as allowing them to become social issues surrounding the subculture and adding realism to the film.
Looking at the conventional mise-en-scène, they tend to dress the characters in lower class clothing, such as hoodies, which is shown in Kidulthood, crop tops, shown in Fish Tank, and casual clothing, shown in Boogaloo and Graham. Considering conventional lighting, it is frequently low-key lighting, which creates a dull atmosphere, highlighting the struggle shown in the film.
It's common for filmmakers to use mise-en-scène to emphasize the lifestyle of characters. For example, location is used to great effect. An example of this is in This Is England, where the location features graffiti, dirty buildings, and boarded up windows and doorways. Perhaps the feature which defines this as working class housing estate is the use of terraced housing. These features are common of locations in social realism films. However, this emphasizing of lifestyle does not stop at locations, as they do emphasize the lifestyle led by the characters. Take the teenagers in the opening sequence of Kidulthood. Costumes in the sequence include dishevelled uniforms, short skirts, and lots of jewellery from the girls, whilst the boys favour tracksuits or hoodies. Props include mobile phones and knives. The props and costumes directly reflect the lifestyle of the teenagers, and the subculture they have created for themselves. This is a particularly effective use of props and costumes. But the same technique is often used to a lesser extent in other social realism films. Lying is often used in a way similar to that of pathetic fallacy, and that it reflects the mood, situation, thoughts, and feelings of the characters. Whilst no obvious examples come to mind, this is a general theme throughout social realism films.